All right.
We on 5? AwayCast 5?
We are on AwayCast number...
Oh, Greg's putting on his personality.
Yeah. We're on
AwayCast number 5.
Roll the music!
What's up, guys? AwayCast 005. I'm here with Gregg Andrew Della Rocca.
Hello.
Okay, and Joshua Hinkie from Chicago.
Hey, what up, yo?
Yo! And I'm Johnny A. John Azalona. What's up, guys? How was everything?
Good. Really good.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying a nice thick slice of Texas toast and some minestrone soup.
Yeah. My girlfriend made that for you.
She did. I kind of intruded on their dinner, and John's having a nice brisket sandwich or something.
It's like more like a shredded chicken, actually.
Oh.
But
yeah,
now I feel I was misinformed. I really imagined barbecue brisket.
I wasn't sure what it is from a distance here. But
you're still entitled to that imagination, Josh.
It is actually just chicken.
No, I'm less sold. I was actually jealous of Johnny's sandwich earlier, but now I'm rather impartial.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. She did a pretty good job for a quickie, you know.
It's great minestrone soup. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, next week on the AwayCast, the first email we get, winner gets minestrone from my girlfriend.
She's gonna cook it and send it in a little styrofoam cooler.
Tupperware.
Oh, I was gonna say she could do like little Star Wars thermos or something.
Yeah, totally, Josh.
If I win, I want it sent in a Star Wars thermos.
We already went over this. You can't win any of the contests.
Well, you know what?
I hate this game.
But Josh, it was your birthday this past weekend, so I think you're entitled to maybe a small cup of soup.
That's about it, I guess.
What'd you do for your birthday, Josh?
It was Josh's birthday yesterday, everybody.
Well,
yeah,
actually,
all right, Josh.
I was gonna say so we don't exactly know when my birthday is for sure.
What?
Yeah, no, dead serious. We don't really know when my birthday is 100%.
Were you a test tube baby?
No, what happened was last year.
Were you a found child?
No. Let me tell the story. It's a good story.
Okay.
Last year, I was doing my taxes, and it wouldn't let me submit them online. And so I called the Social Security office, and I was like, how come I can't get my taxes submitted? And they're like, well, when's your birthday? And I was like, April 27th, 1987. And they're like, when is your birthday? And I was like, April 27th, 1987. And they're like, no, your birthday's April 24th, 1987. And I was like, no, my birthday's April 27th. I've been celebrating it for 25 years. And they're like,
dude, this is like this is like the beginning of some kind of crazy movie where you're not yourself. There's a clone of Josh somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And what's worse is I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, when was I born? She's like, I don't know. What does your birth certificate say?
I thought she was gonna be like, Josh, you have to come over. We have to talk.
And I was just like, how do you not know? How do you not know when I was born?
3 days after your birth, I gave birth to another child, a twin.
A late blooming twin. But as it turns out, we actually don't have a hard copy of like my birth certificate, because I was born in Bolivia, and so we have this like Bolivian photocopy of my citizenship, and we don't know. And to be honest, I could have been born from the 24th to the 27th. Who knows?
What if you're actually in your 30s?
Oh, that would be crazy. I would like to get a receipt for my last 4 years of life.
I think we should get some sort of DNA testing on the show. You know,
to determine
you are not the father.
I actually am.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to carbon date.
Well, actually,
Josh.
no. Because here's the thing: I don't want that, because I think it'd be really cool if when I die, my tombstone can read $to something.
Wow, that's intriguing.
It'd be pretty cool, right? To have $? On your tombstone.
Like no one knows when he was born.
Yeah, Josh.
Legend.
But that's what you're looking forward to through all this, your death?
Well, actually not my death, but what comes after my death. Hopefully I have enough money for a tombstone.
Yeah.
Hopefully by
Probably
then,
not.
Hopefully by then they'll shoot you out into space. Like
if they're going to do that, then I'd like them
Starship
to at least
Troopers.
inscribe $? On the pod that shoots me out to space.
That's true.
Maybe they'll just make the casket into a giant question mark and just kind of like contort your body to fit it in there.
Dude, if I could go that way, that would be badass. To any future Spawn I have, I'm going to keep this podcast and play it for them so my final wishes can be known.
It'll be like a voxophone in the future. People will come upon it.
They'll listen to it.
So what did you do for your birthday,
and we officially
buddy?
went 10 minutes with Johnny making a Bioshock reference.
All right. What did you do for your birthday anyway? Did you have a nice get a pint of ice cream, watch Twilight?
I actually like went all out on sweets. I have ice cream, I have cake, I have cookies around. Yeah, it is a fat person's paradise in here right now.
So tell us what
and
you
that's
did.
what I surprisingly I didn't drink anything. I had like a couple beers on the actual day of. I watched the Bulls win. I've been following the Bulls in the playoffs, and that was a badass game they had.
I like how not drinking is having a couple of beers.
I know. I was Josh yesterday. I did Josh things. I drank a lot yesterday. I had a friend's wedding, and saw a lot of old friends I haven't seen in a while. So of course, I was standing at the bar most of the night making friends with the bartender. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I probably sound a little different today, like a little deeper. It's that like dehydrated. Definitely have to go to the diner in the morning.
Yeah, it's funny because I called John on my way home today before the podcast to make sure we were still doing it because I knew he was out late last night. And when he picked up the phone, I thought I somehow called Josh. And I was like, "Is this John?" Because it didn't sound like himself.
So I sounded like you, Josh, when I'm completely hungover and
nice.
Yeah, because Josh he's always hungover.
I always sound hungover, so it makes sense.
It seems like every week though you handle it better than I am today. I have been chugging water, and I slept as soon as I got home. I slept for like 5 hours. I had to it was a wreck.
Yeah, Josh was like, "I'm hungover."
Did you stay in a hotel at the wedding?
Yeah, we stayed at a hotel down the block, which I didn't even. There was a point where I woke up in the hotel room like, oh, I guess the night's over.
Was it a hotel or a motel?
It was a Best Western.
Oh, hotel.
But it was set up like a motel. Like the doors were facing outside. Oh, okay. You know, like you don't actually go into the hotel. It was kind of nice. Whatever. You know, what Best Western? What's up?
It's the best
around.
Western.
Down. Yeah, so there was a point last night where I think I was doing Gangnam Style, the dance, and there was a circle, you know, like the wedding circle. And
there's an entire circle doing Gangnam Style?
No, even better, the circle made way to give me room to do Gangnam Style.
That is awesome. Oh my God. Now I wish I was there.
It was pretty legendary.
Is there any video of this?
There might be. I'm sure there's photos, but there was a point where Kate got down on all fours and I screamed at her ass. And I think
I'm glad that Kate was ready to jump in and be a participant in the Gangnam Style dance.
I'm hoping they put that in the wedding album.
That's a cover.
The cover. But yeah, Kate actually, she ate a bunch and drank a bunch, and then she did Gangnam Style, and then she proceeded to go to the bathroom to vomit because we were very energetic.
Well, I mean, it's probably like that thing, you know, like where you have that idea that you're going to throw up, but you know there's something more important going on right now.
Right.
So it's probably just that, like, you know, I got to get through the dance, and then I can celebrate by vomiting.
Yeah. But it was fun. I mean, I definitely feel the pain today. I haven't been this hungover in a long time, probably since last summer. So, but hey, it's the beginning of the summer almost. That's probably just warming me up for the rest of the summer.
You talking about being this drunk should make me be like, oh, yeah, that's really awful. I'm glad I didn't drink this weekend. But all it does is inspire me to want to go drink.
Yeah, you're getting itchy.
You're just being empathetic. You're just like, yes, I know, man. I know Gangnam Style, what that can do when you're drinking.
Oh, I want to get drunk and do Gangnam Style.
It was fun, man. It was really fun. But it became a situation, though. Like, I was just doing it, and then the floor started to slowly back away. Everybody started to back away, and it became me in a circle.
Now, are you sure you weren't so drunk that people were just backing away in self-defense? Because I do that when I dance drunk. Is like, I think that people are looking at me, but they're actually just trying to make sure I don't hit them.
Yeah, you're probably right. At least 50-50.
In John's eyes, there's like a circle around. Everyone's like dancing, like
everyone's
John,
like
really
videotaping it. Everyone's like, yeah, you go, dude. But in
really,
real life, everyone's like, oh,
this has to stop. We gotta tell them this. We gotta make this stop.
I was spinning around with a champagne bottle in my hand with my tie undone. Champagne. Yeah, I was all screwed up. But what about you, Greg? You did a little something today? Little BBQ?
No, it was just family shit. I had to go to East End of Long Island and visit my family. My parents are going away for a little bit.
Party.
Yeah, I don't live there anymore. So
that's right.
Greg, did you do Gangnam Style at this barbecue?
I did. I got obliterated and was doing my mom and dad were standing around me in a circle, just like
that's right.
Yeah,
it's becoming a thing.
They were very proud.
Gangnam Style's becoming a thing. I thought we're
it probably was be a thing. Well, on this podcast, all three of us will get drunk and do the Gangnam Style at one point.
Oh God! And it's going to be a moment of shame for all of us. But what they have to eat today, Greg? At the
amazing. We had hamburgers.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Yeah, it's exotic. We had some sausages. Some
what
chicken.
Kind of sausage? Italian?
Yeah, Italian. On some hoagies. A little bit of sauces on there, a little peppers action.
Little peps.
We had the classic Italian family before you eat platter of fresh mozzarella.
Antipasta?
Yeah, it was just actually it was pretty limited today because I think because it was such a small event. It was just me coming home. So it was just like mozzarella and some tomatoes. So they're like,
it's Greg's coming home party.
Really, they just wanted to say goodbye to me because they're going on a trip. They're going away. I think when they do shit like this, it's like just in case the plane blows up or something.
You have
they have like a or their ship sinks because they're doing like a whole bunch of shit out there. This is kind of like the thing. It's like, well, we had this thing with Gregg before we left.
We broke bread before our parting.
Yeah, we're all
so at that moment, as the plane's going down, they can hold hands, look at each other longingly in the eyes, and say, "Well, at least we said goodbye to Gregg, and we made him the mozzarella platter."
Yep.
We made. It was a good mozzarella platter. Just let your parents know they can be buried in a question mark if they want.
Call back. Oh, Josh, you're on point today, dude. Don't do that too much.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh, God. So, I don't even know. Where are we going now? Video games. You guys want to talk about video games?
I can talk video games.
We don't even have to.
Yeah, I think we got something good here.
It's shortest podcast ever. We're done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we should have went out on that, Josh.
Well, I think we could probably spend the rest of the podcast talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, Josh, tell us about your episode with this licensed game, Star Trek.
Tell you what, I knew I was in trouble when I was picking up the game. I was at the GameStop where they asked me about, my pre-orders and my extras and the season passes and the whatnots. And I get up there and he's like, well, because you got the game, you get you get the free Lego Enterprise. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you get a free Lego Enterprise. And he hands it to me, and I'm like, well, this isn't Legos. He's like, well, they're knockoff Legos. And when I got the knockoff Lego Enterprise as my pre-order gift, that's when I knew. I was like, this smells bad. Got home, loaded up the game, and instantly, the first thing I see is Captain Kirk and Spock walking around on the ship, each of them with a torso that looks like they've been throwing down packages of Oreos in their free time. It's like bloated torsos. And I was like, oh, man, they couldn't even be bothered to get the character models right. This is not good. And that is the high point of the game. And things just went downhill from there. There is just so little good things to say about this game. I can't even begin to say it.
Now, I'm not even familiar with the gameplay or anything. I didn't watch anything on this. I didn't even, I have no idea what you experienced. And for anybody else who hasn't, what kind of game is Star Trek?
First off, it's called Star Trek, the video game. Let's give credit where credit is due.
Oh, okay. At least we make it clear that it is the video game.
Yeah. And so no one's picking this up thinking that they're going to get the 2009 reboot. Basically they want you to say it's an Uncharted style, quote unquote, Uncharted style game, but only a little bit in spirit. There's a couple platforming sections, but none of it is Uncharted. And let's face it, the quality there is an entire Atlantic Ocean difference in quality here.
Yeah, when you said Uncharted, I'm like, don't even. Why are you using Uncharted as the benchmark for this?
This is their words. I can't put enough quotes around Uncharted style.
How far did you get into this? Did you get all the way through it, or did you have to just stop?
I got all the way through it.
Oh my god! How long is the game?
It's about 8 hours. Depending upon how. Oh god, this is how bad this game is. It's about 8 hours, depending upon how many times you get stuck due to the terrible gameplay.
Oh, like broken checkpoints and stuff?
Well, not even like. So there's these. The worst part of this game is the mini game, the hacking mini games that they put in here, because these things are so poorly thought out that they don't even play very well. Like one is, and they're all very Mass Effect-ish. Like, you sit there and hold triangle, and then the screen pops up. And one is just simply a matching game. That one's easy. And then there's this like decoder game where they're like, Spock and Kirk have to work together to figure this out. And like one person has to keep a point in a circle to like even out the code. Another person has to like match the code with what the circle's doing. It's dumb.
Wasn't this game in development for like 5 years?
Like it was 3.
3?
In all fairness. But there's nothing fair there. That 3 years is long enough to make a game that isn't this damn bad. And then the worst is that there's like this maze game where you have to like direct this checkpoint to another one. That one's very Mass Effect-esque. In Mass Effect 2 where you have to like connect the nodes together.
Yeah.
This one kind of feels like that, except that it doesn't respond to your controller. Like if you press left, it doesn't go left. It just keeps going down. You like have to hold it in order to actually get it to go anywhere. And I literally spent like a half hour stuck on one of these little mini games, and it's controller chucking bad.
Yeah, I mean, anything I've read about it so far is just like Star Trek is broken. Like it's a broken game. It's completely broken. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't paid attention to any of the any responses to feedback. If anybody over who developed the game?
Digital Extremes.
I wonder if anybody over at Digital Extremes had anything to say about how it was revered.
I don't think there's anything to say. Like, I know that when like the thing to compare this to would be when Aliens Colonial Marines came out.
Wow.
And I know that like Gearbox came out and had some stuff to say about their development, but I don't feel like there's anything to say. Like I don't feel like there's anything that can explain why this game was so bad. I mean, and they have all the few points to hit on is that they have the voices of the original cast are back to do the game, so that's nice, I guess. And they have and the writing isn't awful. I mean, it's for a video game, it's really good. And the story is like they do the Gorn, and the Gorn are an established alien race in Star Wars. This feels like a good place to use them.
Star Trek?
I'm sorry, Star Trek.
Yep.
And then, but like, aside from the story, and like the dialogue's very much like the movie, like it's all deadpan one-liners and stuff like that. But to get through the story, it's a nightmare. It's so bad. And to really sum it up, like when you're in combat, it's that third-person cover shooting mechanic, but you can't really tell if you're hitting them or if they're hitting you. You can't really see where your shots are going if you're missing. There's a few cool like little tweaks in there but they're not doing anything that other people haven't done better.
So I've seen some gameplay, and everything I've seen looks like extremely monotonous, like ducking. You have like projectiles coming at you, or like there was something we have to like these flames are coming over it, and you have to like duck to take cover of those things. And I saw a lot of those puzzle mini games and stuff, and it made me have a really hard time like establishing what this game was trying to accomplish with all of these different broken gameplay mechanics. Like there are platforming aspects, there are third-person shooting aspects, there are like puzzle aspects. I
think that if they had actually committed. If they had committed to doing anything well, this game would have been, Army of Two bad. I mean, it would have been like Army of Two isn't broken; it's just boring. There's nothing creative that they're doing.
It's not that bad if you're playing with a buddy.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that Star Trek. Oh God, Star Trek would have been the same. Like if you were playing with a friend, co-oping as Kirk and Spock, and everything, the third-person shooting mechanic worked really, really well. There's not really anything to complain about. but they keep changing up. They're trying to be so creative, and they have their fingers in so many pies that nothing works well. All of it sucks. Right. And that's where this game becomes unforgivable.
You know what this reminds me of? Another Star Trek type game. William Shatner had a game. Gregg, it's one of Gregg's favorites of all time.
TEKWAR with William Shatner.
TEKWAR with William Shatner. I don't know if you guys have played it.
Let me just say, this game is one of the most artistically driven, most gorgeous, mechanically beautiful. I mean, this game probably paved the way for every first-person shooter that came after it because it is absolutely beautiful.
When you look at the accolades that certain gaming franchises receive, it really all goes back to William Shatner's TEKWAR.
Yeah.
You know, you got Gears of War, Mario, Halo,
Rainbow Six,
Call of Duty, Rainbow Six.
You have games like Mario Paint.
You
have some of the more complex type games,
and then William Shatner's TEKWAR.
I mean, if you look at anyone who goes online right now and goes on YouTube and looks up some of the in-game video footage from TEKWAR, you're literally, your mind is going to explode. You're not
gonna be able to handle it. So listen, go check out TEKWAR.
Yeah.
It's probably better than Star Trek.
And it actually has William Shatner in the game. He talks through the game. He narrates the game. He will tell you how good the game is before you even start playing it, so you know it's going to be a good game.
It's guaranteed by Shatner.
William Shatner's
TEKWAR. Check it out, guys.
Yeah.
I thoroughly wish that I had spent a week playing that instead of playing Star Trek.
Yeah.
And we will all understand that once we go check out TEKWAR. Right, guys?
Everyone, our first sponsor, William Shatner's
TEKWAR. All right, what else have been... Since we're talking to you still, Josh, what else you got playing? What are you playing there? Anything?
Well, being as it was my birthday, I played I got to the weekend because I spend the week playing new releases. I write reviews, stuff like that. So I'm always trying to play the next big thing, being able to talk about the next big thing. But this weekend, I just had Josh's weekend to play whatever the hell I want. I played a little bit of my MLB The Show franchise. I have this epic 6-year franchise going in MLB The Show. I went back and started playing BioShock Infinite again.
Boo, terrible game.
Yeah, I know. That one is Star Trek-esque, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of Star Trek, Duke Nukem, SimCity, and William Shatner's TEKWAR.
Can I ask you a question about MLB games in general?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't play any sports games, really. Are you allowed to make your own guys on that?
Yeah.
They don't have to be guys that exist in the MLB world?
No, that's exactly what I do. When I play... and first off, when I play any sports game, the first thing I do is I get in there and just create things.
Can you make a mutant team, a team of just terrifying looking, just gross mutant men?
Why can't we?
They have to look somewhat human, but you could bloat everyone's head out or make everyone super fat or something.
Yeah.
Why can't we just bring back the Mutant League franchise? Because
you could in this. If you get a hold of Madden, you can create whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, but can I used to play Mutant League hockey all the time. And you could just run up to the goalie, chainsaw him, put the puck in the net, just like real life.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Oh, see, I really would love for them to reboot that.
I like the idea of you
franchise.
making a gross, obese team and playing against people online and beating them.
That would be funny.
It's really fun.
So,
and then I played a ton of Infamous.
1 or 2?
1.
How was why'd you start playing BioShock again? You in 1999?
Well, I just did hard mode, but I immediately after I finished, I'm I know I need to play this again. I know that because now I go back through and I get all the references, all those things you didn't get before. And that's actually half the fun of playing it again is there's actually going to be some moments where you go, oh.
Yeah, they were showing you all the answers the whole time, and they're so subtle, and it's such a
it's
smart
impressive.
game.
I mean, from the there's a shot of New York being destroyed by Elizabeth really, really early on that, of course, reads nothing to you. And, of course, if you're playing the game over a week or a month, you're never going to remember that reference is made.
Right.
I mean, there's some solid work, and like even listening to the Latuses, is that their names?
Yep.
Listening to them talk in the rowboat on your way as you're rowing up to the lighthouse, that conversation becomes a hell of a lot more interesting because they're talking about their experiment. They're like, in an experiment, you do blah 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 blah, and like at first you're just like, oh, this is quirky, fun dialogue, but now that you're going through, you're like, they're literally talking about how this is an experiment that's different than the other times they've done this.
But they're also talking how they have done this many times, and that's why when they say to him, they go,
he doesn't row.
It's because they've done this with him before, and he doesn't row.
He never rows.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, that stuff, and going through and getting that stuff again is just, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm almost done with 1999 mode, but a lot of other games have gotten in the way. Irrational put out a pack of, on their site, they put out a pack of ringtones. So I just want to let everybody know this is my ringtone. Huh? What do you think?
Great.
All right.
Everyone, when that happens at parties, everyone must just flock to you. They must go, oh my God.
Dude, that's Songbird. That's gotta be Songbird.
Turn that off. The Songbird's coming, bro. Turn it off.
Turn it off. All right. What about you, Greg? You play anything this week?
Yeah, I did. I played more Defiance.
How you doing in that? I saw you moving up some levels there.
I actually started doing the pursuits instead of just driving around like a madman. Just,
I will say, Greg, you are giving Defiance a really decent shake. How many hours do you think you put in thus far?
Not as many as me.
No, you have John, I mean, I've been playing it just because I haven't had that much time for games recently, but when I do have time, it's fun for me to just go in there and do whatever. So I'm like almost Eagle level 500. Then we have John and Mike, the other two guys John, who's here right now, and our other friend Mike, who we started playing together. And they've been playing it a lot, and they're like Eagle level 1700.
No.
1500?
1400.
1400. That's still a lot.
How many hours do you think you've put in? Like, what do you think your playtime's at?
I've probably put in maybe between 8 and 10 hours, right? Something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe?
I think probably more.
More than that. It's hard to judge. Maybe like 15 hours. I don't know.
I've probably put in maybe double that.
Probably 30 hours or something.
Probably 30. But you know what? Like Greg said, it's a very pick up and go kind of game.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for me to gauge the time, because literally I'll play like 2 hours, I'll put it down, maybe I'll go back later that night and play another hour.
I mean, go ahead.
That's definitely the strong point of Defiance, is that like it is something, if you're looking for a game that you can just turn your brain off and play, that is exactly what Defiance is.
Yeah, and that's the one good thing about the whole. I mean, there's definitely a ton of bad things that I was talking about with my friend Dave today that I could say about how the leveling doesn't really matter, the ranking in a way doesn't matter.
For sure.
But it's also, in a way, it's a good thing, because like if I don't play, and I know my friends who I got it with are playing, I don't have to be like stressed out like shit, they're going to get really far ahead of me and I'm not going to be able to play with them, because no matter what, at any point I can just hop in with what they're doing and I'm not going to be out leveled. I can just play with them and keep up with them.
Except we look way cooler.
Yeah, they have like cooler shit on than I do. So, but I mean, that's kind of like what keeps me from like going crazy with it. Like I got to catch up to them, because like I really don't have to catch up.
Yeah, because like you can get discouraged and stop playing if we get too like your friends.
Yeah, like if we were playing like if we were playing World of Warcraft and we said we're all going to start together, and I couldn't play for 2 weeks, so I had work to do, and I get back on, and you guys are like level 30 and I'm level 10 doing the same, stupid quest. It's like you just don't want to play anymore.
Right.
But
and like, I think all giant MMOs can be accused of that. Like oftentimes when I think about jumping back into the Old Republic or WoW, I think like, well, where the hell am I? What am I even doing there? Am I like, it's going to take me at least a half hour to like reestablish what I'm doing in the world and then get back to actually doing it. Whereas Defiance, and you just pick up, hop in your Dodge Charger, sponsored by Dodge, hashtag Dodge, and go.
Yeah, it was cool, because I was, once in a while I like to put music on when I'm playing games, and the story in this game. I beat the game, so there's really no story left for all these side missions. Like they're really light on the interesting story.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, story doesn't matter. It's like, you know what? Like, yeah, we're gonna put a story here.
Got a job for you to do.
But we got a job for you to do. There's guys, kill them, pick up the stuff, bring it back to me, and you get the, and really it's just like. just shoot them up. You gotta go kill the guys. You know, come back.
Actually, like I played that game while I was like I watch a lot of baseball, and I would put that on while I was watching the Twins game, and just be like, nah, whatever.
Yeah,
you don't
have to worry about. You don't have to worry about what's going on. You know,
go here,
again,
hold X.
That's kind of
I can
nice.
do that.
But then again, like I was saying to my friend, there are some things that make the game that, if anything, make me afraid for the longevity. Sorry, of the game, just because it's going to get to a point where it's probably going to be boring because we're all going to be the same, and that does take something away from like the life of the game, because no matter what, you're always going to be the same as everybody else.
Well, that's the thing, is when you're playing co-op maps, you can kind of spec someone to be a healer. You could kind of spec someone to be close quarters, but like it's not a necessity. You can get along just fine without having people play class types.
What I was saying to my friend Dave today was that what I think would be a good idea is, because I think right now the max level is 5,000 in the ego.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get to 5,000, you should have the option, sort of like Call of Duty here, to prestige almost and reset. You reset everything, but you get some sort of perk, something that like makes you
completely
a little bit different, or maybe makes you a little bit better than everyone else. Some sort of like plus to all of your damage, plus to all of your. But then you still have to start from the beginning with your ego, and you have to get all that back again.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, it's an MMO, and Tryon is, like I say this every week for them, they're kicking butt with the sticking with the player base and like understanding what people want. They receive all their feedback, and they come out with answers in spades. So that's why I'm really giving the game more than a lot of people think it deserves, because it seems like it's going to come back to you. I think they're going to do some good stuff with it. I hope they're going to do some good stuff with it, because I'm almost out of story stuff to do or side missions to do, and then I can't just keep playing co-op and competitive maps. There has to be something. It doesn't really have like that raid mechanic that a lot of MMOs have.
Yeah.
But I really hope it makes it. It's doing good. The show's doing good. Actually,
I was going to say episode 2 was good. I really liked it.
Yeah. So so you guys are still watching the show.
Yeah.
What is?
It was on point with the first episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
There's this part. Spoiler alert. Okay, turn it all off, everybody. There's this point where Josh, you're gonna watch episode 2.
I have not watched episode 2, and I'm not going to watch it, so I can't spoil anything, and you can spoil whatever you want.
Okay, well, there's this part where they go to what happens when they terraform, when the whole terraform event happened.
Okay, cool.
Old St. Louis didn't get destroyed. It got
it's underground.
It's underground.
They built over it,
and they pay a little visit there, and it actually looks really great. Like the compositing work that they do, I was impressed. So you can tell that they still have some budget. We didn't blow it all on the pilot.
We're saying, John, next week they're showing some hell. What's it? When is the next episode? Is it
tomorrow?
Tomorrow. They're going to show hell bugs, and they showed a preview of it.
Yeah, and the hell bugs looked a little. We'll see. We'll see, because the thing is that they're like strange, obviously strange creatures. They're not like bipeds that they can use reference for. They have to kind of just reference the original movement of what they want the hellbug to be. It looks like Starship Troopers, honestly, but
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there's worse things to be compared to.
Yeah, well, I love Starship Troopers, so definitely right there. Any other?
And so I think the safe thing to say, and this will be our barometer this week, is it better than Star Trek?
The game?
Yes. Is Defiance the game better than Star Trek? The game?
Yes, I've played it long enough.
There you go.
Why are you?
What the fuck, Josh?
But that's like setting the bar so low, man. You can ask me.
I feel that should be the barometer that we set for this week. Is it better than Star Trek?
Wow, everything's gonna be better than Star Trek.
We're about to talk about Dead Island, and that's better than Star Trek, despite what a lot of other people think. But all right, well, you know what? Let's segue into Dead Island. Josh, you didn't play Dead Island, did you? No, right? You said you've been playing Star Trek and all those other really good games.
I just feel like sad music should just be playing every time we talk about.
Hey. Which one is that? Is that a lullaby?
Yeah, it's it's
Josh, what game is that from?
Well, it's from Ocarina of Time.
No, it's the Epona song, isn't it?
It's a Epona song.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay,
drink
so
some lawn milk.
Yep. So we got Dead Island, and I wasn't even gonna buy it. I mean, I was eventually going to get it, but I wasn't planning on it. I didn't realize it was coming out so soon. And John and our other friend Mike already had it. They got it on Amazon, so it was like already waiting at their front door. So I decided I was going to get it and play with them. And get home, I put it in. We're all ready to go. We start having some fun, and our friend Mike, who we often talk to or about, is not enjoying the game.
He's really not enjoying the game, and he's okay. So let's talk about Dead Island before we get into this. Dead Island Riptide doesn't even need Riptide at the end of it. It's pretty much the same thing as Dead Island.
Like DLC.
Basically, it's a glorified expansion. But if you like Dead Island,
who do your voodoo,
bitch? If you like Dead Island, Greg and I played the first Dead Island together. And we had a lot of fun for a while, and we started playing this one, and we kind of jumped right back into it, kind of like where we first left off. Yeah. There's a couple of different mechanics. No, but there's a couple of different things. Some different weapons. There's a new character who's like melee based. He uses like Wolverine claws, and he has this kick move that's hilarious.
It's pretty much the same game, and even to make it even, more like DLC, you can literally import your character from the first one with all of your upgrades already done. So there's no work in the game, which is kind of a dumb thing that we neglected to use when we started new characters.
I really thought that was such a bad idea. Starting an RPG, especially an action RPG, where you can actually like choose your character and allow for some customizability, which is pretty much, it's our version of playing with G.I. Joes all over again. Like we can make the person that we want, but like why start a brand new game, or supposedly a brand new game, and be able to bring in something you already have completed?
It's just a game like that is very simple. There's not really much to it, honestly. And the one thing that is fun about that game is developing your skill tree. Yeah, it's kind of like picking how you want your character to be, and to upgrade certain things. And when you start the game and you have that already filled out, it kind of makes it pointless.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the fun out of it. I mean, so what we ended up doing was just creating characters from scratch.
I forgot my pop filter today, everyone. So if the P's and S's sound bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
trying to make do.
All right.
Sorry.
You're going to do the Peter Piper rhyme now?
I'm trying to, like, every time I say a P, I'm, like, facing away, so my words are, like, missing them instead. It's like...
Well, now that we're talking about you saying your P's, that's all you're going to talk about.
I know.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's forget it. The Dead Island Riptide.
What the hell? Oh, the progression. So we ended up starting new characters anyway, and you start at level 15. So it makes sense now. They tried to have you start at a later level because they figure other people are importing characters, I guess. So they kind of give you a head start. So right off the bat, you start level 15 and you have 15 skill points to give out. And already it's like...
So wait. There's no way to start at level 1?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I think... that's a weird thing.
Not to get too metaphorical, but that, what the hell then is the difference between level 1 and level 15? If everyone starts at level 15, isn't that just level 1?
Well, I think that's what they're trying. I think what they were trying to do is say that it's like continuing from the first game. So to start at level 1, you're not a level 1 character anymore. You're not someone who was just like thrown into this.
Right.
You have some you have experience dealing with the situation, so they're going to give you these 15 experience points to put into your skill tree to kind of start your character out.
But this is where the problem, we're speaking in the bigger picture now too, because you're playing all the same, there's one additional character, but you're playing all the same people that were in the first one. So Greg's right, like to say that they start from 0 again doesn't really make sense logically, but at the same time, like, why don't we just get some new characters and follow a different story? Like, why did we have to follow the same people? I mean, that takes away a lot of the shine of this game. Is that
and the story isn't very good, is it? Like,
no, not at all. Not at all.
No,
exactly. So I mean, what the hell? I just feel that if everyone had to restart from level 1, that would not be people wouldn't say, well, that just ruins the illusion.
Yeah. This game is a lot like how I was talking about sci-fi shows last week. You kind of have to just take it for what it's worth. There's really not that much bad about it. There's also not really a lot of really good about it. It's kind of a fun game. You play with your friends. Some funny shit happens. You get to hack up zombies. The weapons are pretty cool. One thing that I wish that I would have got out of this game is a different environment from the first game. that's probably the lamest thing for me, is just being in the same place pretty much.
Well, a lot of flack the game got was the fact that in Dead Island 1, they had the resort, they had the base, and they also had that middle jungle area, which a lot of people didn't like, and that takes up a large part of this game.
That's all it's been for us so far, and we're like level 30 already,
level 30 something,
and it's still just been all the same, just jungle.
I mean, I want to spend some more time with it just to see.
Maybe it does change. Yeah, I guess we can't say. Maybe it turns into a whole nother thing. I doubt it, but at this point, we probably put 10 hours, 15 hours in the game. And
probably, yeah. The weapon customization is cool again. Like, that's one thing I always liked about Dead Island. You know, you find nails and something else, you put it on a bat. You
got a propane heater tank. You put it on your knife, and it turns into a torch knife.
Yeah, a barbecue mod. You get different kinds of mods and things like that. So there's enough to keep the game interesting. It's just, it's more Dead Island. There's no better way to describe it. The story's lackluster, just like it's always been. They do have these missions now. We've only done one of them, and the first mission we did in the game glitched out. They have this mode that's akin to the original
Fences.
Yeah, they have this mode that's akin to Call of Duty World at War zombie mode. And it's just like that, where you have to put up your defenses, and they start breaking down your fences, and it seems like they could have polished it a bit better, because you're like meleeing the zombies through the fence. It's just, it seems like they wanted to accomplish what Call of Duty did. But
there's some glitchy things.
There's very glitchy
and our
things.
buddy Mike would not let them pass.
Mike was Sam B, who's the hoodoo you voodoo guy, and he was just running around
trying to break the game.
Basically. So like Greg and I were trying to finish quests, and he would just throw flares, like 3 or 4 flares.
No, like 7 or 8 flares, and the whole game would stop working. It would just lag out.
My FPS lag was just
like 1 FPS.
Yeah, I had like 1 frame a second, like couldn't even move. And that's his good time. And I'm like, guys, come on, we got to go finish this mission. I wanted to get through this.
And I wanted to play the game with John, but at the same time, I also wanted revenge on Mike for some things. In fact, actually, I think I might have started this by, I think I told him to pick something up at some point, and then I shot a barrel next to him, and then after that, it just turned into like a
free-for-all.
Everyone just killing each other. Like, I think there was one point where I told John that there was a treasure inside of this little room, this little fenced-in area.
Well, I have lock picking on my guy, and I had to pick the lock.
And there was something in there, but everyone thought I was a trick, so I was in there with it, like, look, please just go in there and pick the lock. And Mike was just standing there, not saying anything, and then he starts throwing propane tanks in the little room with John and blowing them. Oh, yeah, it was.
So I mean,
pure mayhem.
If you can just not try to be too harsh with the game, you can have fun with it.
Yeah, just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, don't take it too serious. Don't be like, oh man, like this isn't realistic. Zombies are boring. Oh my god.
Yeah, Mike. Callie.
Mike. Jerk.
I will say that was something that like prevented me from getting Dead Island Riptide, is like when I really boiled it down. And I chose wrong on this one, I fully admit. But I did feel like when I looked at it, I was like, I'm just zombied out. I just really don't have the wherewithal to do another zombie game.
Right. It gets there's times where it gets difficult though, which is, you become overwhelmed. I think those enemies can be anything, because they have their typical like projectile zombie.
Farm animals? Could they be farm animals?
They could be farm animals. All the zombies are pigs walking on their hind legs. The tanks are cows.
Some completely demented version of Animal Farm.
Yeah. Animal Crossing. No, not like that. Yeah, so it's I recommend the game. It was at the $50 price point that a couple of games are doing now, since we're at the end of the cycle. And I give it a for my hard reset review, which I have to put up tomorrow. I think I'm going to give it a 3. I mean, I know that sounds pretty generous.
What's the rating system that you guys use?
Out of 5.
Out of 5, but it's
three is like, I think 3 is that very much like it's good. It's good.
It's good. The problem though is like if Dead Island 1 never existed, this game gets a nice solid 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe almost a 4, just because it's kind of innovative. But the fact that they already had one shot at this, and their second shot was like, kind of the same thing. The precedent that the first one set left a lot of room for this to be much better than the original. They had such a good opportunity to capitalize on that, and they didn't.
There's a team out there working on Dead Island 2.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. I mean, hopefully this is the like the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, like the 0.5. But
so wait, I think before we talk about more games, maybe we should talk about some next gen stuff, E3 stuff, Nintendo stuff.
okay.
Lead in.
Okay.
I thought that'd be
Well, this week a lot of flack headed Nintendo's way because they announced that they will not have a main stage E3 presence. What do we think, guys?
I think we called the demise of Nintendo on our last podcast.
Well,
and then they heard this, they heard the podcast, and they're like, these guys are right.
Right.
These guys are
Stumbled
right.
across it, and Iwata's just like, fuck it, we're out.
Right, we're out. Well, that's because we're on iTunes now.
Hooray! Check us out on iTunes. Subscribe, rate, check us out. All right, thanks, guys. So
Pre-order.
Pre-order us on iTunes.
Buy the insurance.
You get the map.
We'll send you Game Informer magazine.
You get the map of our studio.
Yeah, so Nintendo's taking some heat in the media right now. People are saying in an article I just read recently, saying that they're marketing 101. That they're not even following marketing 101. They're having some serious issues with the Wii U. The sales are super underwhelming.
I told John that this is all a big trick. That Nintendo is really, they're saying they're not going to do a presentation, but what's really going to happen is they're going to make some big announcement during someone else's conference, like in wrestling. You know, when someone's turn to talk.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of
in the middle of the Sony conference,
right in the middle,
just drop down with the Hebrew sword and just like
you're gonna hear like Stone Cold Steve Austin music. The glass shatter. The lights are gonna go down, and Reggie's gonna walk out on the stage just with a sword and just like little leotard on, and he's gonna just lay it down. He's gonna tell people what's up. You know?
I imagine the music going dun 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 dun.
Lights cut out. Everyone's like,
Exactly.
What's that? What's that?
What's happening? And it comes to him on the stage.
He's gonna come out and he's gonna say, "We're giving all of the IPs to Sony."
Sony gets Mario. Sony gets Donkey Kong. Sony gets
Zelda.
Very nice.
No.
And on a not that that's not serious, Greg. I think everyone believes you very much.
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
gonna
It's
happen.
very insightful. But I was actually like just I don't think this is as big of a deal as people like would make it out to be. Just like simply because E3 meant more back when like we didn't have like the internet to explode. Like, I mean, literally, Nintendo announces something, we all find out about it the next day.
Well, you said it best the other day, Josh. I mean, to give them a little bit of credit, it's all pageantry at this point.
Exactly. And pageantry like means something. Like, I mean, it's not to say E3 doesn't really matter, but I mean, when people get up there, like when Sony does their press conference and they show a bunch of video for their upcoming games, and they have 6 different people come on and say, "This game will reinvent the way that people look at first-person shooters." We got 6 people in a room together and said, "What makes games boring?" And we did none of those things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say I totally agree with you any other year, but you know that everyone's, press conferences this year are going to be awesome because they all have new cutting edge shit to show. It's all the next gen systems.
We're moving on to the next gen, and I feel like Nintendo is being left behind.
If anything, they should have maybe held off on what they were doing last year and dropped out of that one and came out with a bang with everyone else, because this just shows how weak they are. This is just like how weak you are in comparison. You're just falling apart.
To play on both sides, Greg had this discussion earlier with me earlier in the week, but I think that Nintendo just realizes that, I mean, they're going to have a presence at E3. It's not like they're not showing up. They're just not going to have a main stage. So they're using kind of a tactic. I think it's going to be like more personal. But realistically, I think they're a little scared to show what they got. Nintendo's like the small guy in the locker room doesn't want to take his towel off. He's like, "Oh, everyone's going to make fun of me." Like they don't.
Well, and on top of that, like, let's face it, there's nothing Nintendo could do at this conference that would impress people. Like, even if they're dropping all their big titles, everyone's still going to go, "Oh, okay, but over here we have a new Xbox. Over here we have a new PlayStation."
Right.
So in that sense, what would even be the point of them showing up? It's almost like, why go to the Oscars if you know you're not going to win?
But it's the same cycle we talked about last week, where like they can only get away with it one more time, just like you said, Josh. Like we can't have any more excuses. And that's what worries me is if they're not showing up at E3 with a main conference, it's like I feel like they're losing opportunities, and there are a lot of people that aren't that casually get into games that sometimes watch E3. They're gonna be like, what happened to Nintendo? Like, why aren't they there? Like, the main conferences is what you watch to get informed. I mean, I know these people aren't watching the full things, but I don't know, man. It's just strange either way. Whether you look at it as a good move or a bad move by Nintendo, I think it's just odd. And
I think the bad thing is that what it really proves is that it's not that Nintendo has nothing to hide. It's not like Nintendo was saving something for E3. We all pretty much got it figured out, and the game, like, kind of the gig is up.
Yeah.
Which once again, like, I don't really want to say that's bad that Nintendo is going to E3. If they don't have anything to show, they don't have anything to show. Or if they don't feel they can compete, then yeah, don't go. But it just proves that they're not. It's not like they have an ace up their sleeve, because if they did, they would be going.
Right, and I think we all wish they did. We all want it, but you know what? They're losing a lot of faith. People are losing a lot of faith in them with this long stretch of people who bought Wii U's with the promise of games, and nobody has games.
I think it was Iwata came out in the same conference or the same announcement where they weren't going to
Nintendo Direct
E3.
Right?
He also said, yeah, I don't think we marketed the Wii U correctly. I don't think that, I think that we're failing. And everyone was kind of like, well, no fucking shit. I think they're aware they have major issues. Everyone seems aware of it. Either they're going to do something really, really dynamic in the next year, or it's going to be the beginning of the end.
So with that, let's talk about Microsoft. They announced that they're going to have an announcement on the 21st of May. What do you guys think it is?
Well, probably they're going to announce their first Xbox handheld.
Yeah, I think so too.
The Xbox Mini, I think they'll call it.
I thought it was going to... They did this recently. I thought they were going to announce the Domino's app for Xbox, but they already released that.
I think they're going to talk about bringing back 1 vs. 100.
Oh, pour one out for 1 vs. 100. Josh, did you play that when that was available?
I did not.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Best game ever.
It was so good. I really hope they take that innovation with them moving forward. They ended up getting some new people, and they ended up scrapping that game. But you're aware of 1 vs. 100, right, Josh?
Yes.
Like what it is?
Yeah.
So basically what it was is thousands of people would sign on at a specific time, and one person would be in the hot seat, and the other people would play the 100, which was really...
Well, there was multiple rooms, and it was still 1 vs. 100 people, I believe. I don't think it was 1 versus all those people. There was just lots of different lobbies that you get put into.
Are you sure? I thought it was just one, and then people are randomly chosen to be the 100, and then people play by themselves. I think it was because we all watched the one, and then if you're in the 100, you're still playing. You could win Microsoft points and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. And you watch that as a spec, but you still play the game.
But you still play the game with your friends,
right?
Separately. It was just.
I think that's how it was. Yeah.
It was so fun because it got everybody together at a certain time. Like, yo, are you guys gonna play? And on Xbox, if you go into the lobby, it would say coming up at 7:30, we have a video game themed 1 vs. 100, or we have a TV show themed or a movie, or a William Shatner's TEKWAR 1 vs. 100. So I don't know, man. I hope they bring that back, that kind of social gaming. This way, it doesn't, man, that was so fun. Yeah, anyway, so Microsoft coming the 21st. You hearing any rumors, Josh? Any rumors coming your way?
There's nothing but rumors for this thing. The always on DRM seems pretty much a lock. However, I don't think it's going to be as important as it was first originally supposed to be. I think that it's going to be you have to log on, and then you have to log on, and then it can kind of suspend itself out, and then you have to log yourself back out of it in the end. It just basically needs to connect and say, yes, there is an internet connection here, but it doesn't need to actually be pulling from it all the time.
Right. Yeah. I think people, as soon as they hear that, based on the past year and disasters of the year, or 2 years even, back with Diablo, but people get scared when they hear DRM now. I know I do.
For good reason.
Yeah, absolutely for a good reason. But, I think that in the beginning, when you first hear that, you get out the torches and pickaxes, but let's hear them out. Let's hear what the story actually is with that stuff.
I think I think there's a lot to be discovered on that. There's also the price point is supposedly going to be $300 with a 2-year Xbox Live subscription, or $500.
Yeah, but I don't understand that, because a 2-year Xbox Live subscription is $100 currently, right? If it's $50 a year.
Oh God, I don't know.
I think so.
What'd you say?
Xbox Live is $50 a year, isn't it?
Yeah, $50 a year.
So I don't know where they're making their money back. Maybe that commitment, like they're guaranteed that extra $100.
Well, I think also you can, if you get people hooked into Xbox Live or get Xbox Live Gold, we should make that distinction very clear.
Right.
Get the Xbox Live Gold subscription for 2 years. After 2 years of Xbox Live Gold, what are the chances someone's going to say, no, I don't want this? I think it gives them the added insurance that every single person who gets an Xbox will get Xbox Live Gold and use it.
Not to mention being able to buy things on the marketplace and microtransactions, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I guess that's where it makes sense. I mean, Microsoft isn't stupid with their marketing. So,
and money wise, absolutely not. They know what they're doing, especially with Xbox Live. And everyone has complaints to lodge against Xbox Live Gold, I'm sure, but you can't argue with the money they make.
Oh, absolutely not. But they do have to give back, man. And they're leaps and bounds away from PlayStation Network in terms of generosity and caring about their subscribers.
There are two things that raise questions about this conference. The first is, when Sony did their conference, they basically rolled out a red carpet of big name developers doing big games for their launch. It was one after another person came up and said, we're developing for this system. We endorse this system, yada, yada, yada. Can Xbox do something like that, or is it going to be 45 minutes of them talking about their Pizza Hut apps or whatnot?
What's nuts to me, and I don't know if this is a good move or bad move, you guys tell me, but having it almost 2 weeks before E3.
That was my second thing, is because if they do these announcements before E3, what are they going to say at E3? Like, hey, remember 2 weeks ago when we saw you?
Yeah. Well, I think they might play to what Sony was going to do, where they had their announcements and they're going over, they're going to have to go over price points and tech specs and stuff like that. But if they make it more about the games, I think people will be really they'll respect it a bit more instead of. I mean, Microsoft is known to just talk about peripherals and
Are you talking about at E3 or during this?
Well,
the
they
21st announcement.
I just hope that they focus on the games
at E3 or on
both.
Because I'm thinking what they will probably do is at the announcement maybe focus on the hardware a little bit so that at E3 they can dedicate it to
right. I mean, that'd be great.
Games.
One or the other. I'd hate to hear everything we heard on the 21st again in June.
You're going to get some copy.
Of course. But they're streaming. It's just. Man.
I think that the biggest problem is that because there's been such a gap with the Sony conference to E3, we feel like everything Sony does at E3 is going to be new. We feel like, they're going to give us all new information. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Microsoft, just like you said, Greg, we kind of feel there's going to be some sort of copycat there, so we can't get quite as amped about it.
Yeah, we don't have time to get hyped up about it,
Exactly.
A few weeks ago, we're like, where are they? And now they're like, well, we're going to do a pre-E3 conference, basically.
Maybe they won't show anything. Maybe it's a psych out. Maybe it's going to be like, just kidding.
Just messing around.
Watch E3.
They're going to show us, Halo DLC.
They show up and they're like, hey, thanks for coming. Now here's 3 episodes of Golden Girls.
I just found out through some research here that staying on topic, that TEKWAR, William Shatner's TEKWAR, is actually based off a TV show from 1994 called TEKWAR.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That is surprising.
And actually, I pulled up this 11-second promo for it that I'm going to just play for you guys.
Okay, play it.
Join us again next Saturday night when Channel 43 brings you William Shatner's TEKWAR. It's more action-packed excitement on the Universal Movie of the Week.
That was it?
That's
Those are 11 seconds that nobody will ever get back.
Well, I think that it'll open people's minds.
I just want to say, still better than Star Trek.
That was just a promo, dude coming up next after news at 11.
The way we're set up here, Josh is coming through my laptop, so when I find a clip that I want to play for you guys, I can't pre-listen to it. You know, I just have to find a short one so we don't waste time with it. And that was the shortest one I could find with TEKWAR. You know, I was really hoping for something better.
Yeah.
We all were.
You gave it a shot, bud. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know if I find anything better.
So, anybody order pizza off Xbox yet?
Actually, I should have tried. I did order a pizza this weekend, but I just did it the old-fashioned way over the internet.
I'd like to see how that works.
Pulled out my ancient laptop, dusted it off, you know.
Josh, man, you took funny pills today, huh? You funny guy.
Yeah, I'm coming out guns a-blazing.
A year older and a year funnier, huh? You're wiser.
I'm going to say, I feel 26 is going to be my... let's hope it's not my peak of comedy, but another ascent up the comedy ladder.
Hey, but we're building your confidence here right now. That's not
How
good.
old are we? 26? We're 26 also, right?
No.
Yeah.
That's so funny how I'm fooling Greg on his own birthday.
No.
We're 26 years old.
Yeah, we're also
Greg.
26.
He's like, wait, how old?
Yeah, no.
Go to the AwayCast wiki. There you will find all relevant information.
We have all of our fans compiling all the information for us, right?
Holla.
Yeah. So we were talking about Microsoft, and it's funny when Greg took us off topic before. He was like, "Not to stay on topic here."
That was the joke.
Oh,
That was
okay, okay.
That was I was so excited. I thought I found some gold, and it was just coal. It was not good.
Just coal. Coal's a good resource.
All right. Microsoft is gonna do shit 2 weeks early.
Apparently, they're talking about some new technology too. They patented that technology that it takes over your living room. You see that?
Oh,
yet?
that's right.
Takes
Yeah, they got
control
the,
of like your furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
And it, like comes.
Yeah, they turn your living room into Tron or whatever. And
Yeah, like it projects onto the walls. I don't know how. What am I gonna do? I have to have like a X-Men war room, like it projects shit all over. I have things on my walls. What the hell?
I hope the conference on the 21st is just like an hour of the new Just Dance game, and it's Usher comes out and he's like, "Yo,
I'm Usher."
Next gen of gaming, let's go.
you're saying that, Greg, but I kind of feel like it is going to be that, like, you know, because they're going to do a new Kinect, and they're going to be like, Kinect is even better. There's more cameras. There's more angles. And, like, you know, they'll bring out Justin
6
Timberlake and
cameras
he'll
on
dance.
the system. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean,
but yeah, there's some of the features on the new Kinect. They're talking about like eye recognition, where if you look away while you're watching Netflix, it will pause it for you.
it'll say, "John, what are you looking at?
You can't do that, John.
John, look over here. You have very nice eyes."
So there was a funny comment on Reddit. Somebody was like, "But do you? I see you would like to watch Golden Girls. Blink once to confirm your purchase." Like they're gonna end up screwing you over with all these motion controls and
Like that game we saw the other day that IGN did a review on, the Pokemon ripoff game where if you select a character for $100.
You should have found what was the name? It was a really long name.
Oh man, did you see that, Josh?
No.
Oh my god, I'll find it right now.
You really got to see it. Find the name because people should look at this. When you start playing, the characters all look like Pokemon characters, and you only start with one free character, and the characters to buy.
I have heard about this.
They're like
$100.
They're like $100 to buy a character. So as you're playing the game, it's like a really terrible platformer. You got the name, Greg?
No, I'm going for it.
But you're shooting like these fireballs, and when you run out of fireballs, it prompts you.
You get 30, and if you run out of them, it's like $29 for 30 more shots or something like that.
Yeah, like an iOS menu comes up, like, would you like to confirm your purchase of $30 worth of fireballs or whatever? And like to play the game right in the beginning, it asks you if you want to spend $100.
Yeah, because there's other characters, and some of the characters are like $50, some of the characters are like $100, and really the game is horribly made. It looks like shit.
What it's designed to do is just to confuse people that like to click OK on
or little kids who it's a colorful kid looking game. A little kid's gonna download the game on their mom's phone or something, and they're just gonna be like, oh, okay.
Well, even find the title because that makes way more sense. It's a bunch of keywords that kids would think are fun. Go ahead.
Super Monster Bros by Adventure Time. That's what it's called.
And there is no way that some dumb parent doesn't buy that game.
Right. It says Adventure Time?
Super Monster Bros by Adventure Time. That's the company that makes it, I guess.
Oh my!
Adventure
So
Time.
all that is just a trap. That is the biggest trap for kids and adults to just And oh man,
you gotta listen. If you're listening to this, go to IGN.com and find this. I think it's you search for iPhone garbage Super Monster Bros, and it's hilarious. It is so funny because it's so bad, and the characters look just like Pokemon. Look like Charizard, Blastoise, and then there's like a regular like human character, but they're called something else. They're just like slightly like dumb looking,
and they cost $100 a piece. So if you want that.
And the game's like totally broken. There's like spots where you would normally fall and die, and they're just like walking over this stuff. Yeah, sorry, yeah, I was starting to play. Sorry.
Yeah. So don't buy that game.
Yeah. Ugh.
Stay away from that game.
Where's my notebook?
It fell on the floor. Remember?
No, I picked it back up.
Are we gonna talk about the Bureau? XCOM. XCOM.
Yeah.
The Bureau.
When you bring it up, we should talk about it. So
I just did bring it up.
You did.
All right. So I watched this trailer at the behest of you guys.
Well, let's talk about what it is first.
Okay, so XCOM: The Bureau is the spiritual accompaniment to
it's the
XCOM.
cousin. It's the cousin of XCOM.
Yeah. The cousin to XCOM, which is Firaxis's really, really good real-time Earth defense alien game. Really, really awesome, where basically you have a squad. You're fighting invading aliens. Everyone should go out and play.
I love XCOM. I think everybody should play that game.
Fantastic.
Right.
And actually, the fact that they're tying the Bureau, XCOM, the Bureau, in with that is a selling point to me. Like, I was moderately interested, but now hearing that it's tied into that same world, I am actually more interested now.
Yeah, like I'll just probably get it because there's a big fat old XCOM in the title.
So sad. That's exactly why they did that.
No, absolutely, and it works because XCOM was such a great game. So many awards.
Yeah.
It was just I had so much fun with it. I don't think I ever beat it. I'm pretty close though. But yeah, they came out with this live action trailer. Teaser really.
And the trailer is everything I hate about those stupid trailers.
Right.
It's like, mysterious footage, like kid on bicycle. Why is this kid on a bicycle? Some weird old song in the background. And then, serious man in fire with film. And then, intercut between the two. Fast. What just happened? XCOM. That stuff bugs the hell out of me. Because A, it doesn't tell anyone about the game. It really doesn't do anything for anyone. It's just garbage. But
the only thing that I saw was that thing on the dude's arm.
Yeah.
That was a little question I had. He had like a little Pip-Boy on his arm, whatever that was.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it doesn't actually give us insight into what that game's about. Like, maybe, and God, this is why this sucks. But maybe that alludes to the fact that as you're playing the game, you'll have like a little digital interface that you can interact with as you're commanding your people.
Right. Well, either way, I like that time period. I like the '60s Roswell type. I think they were just probably trying to establish that and generate a little buzz about the game. Like, don't worry, it's going to be set at this time. That's what it's supposed to be set at, right? Because XCOM is future, and the Bureau is set in '60s, right?
And this is about right now. The details we have is that it's about the founding of XCOM project and how the project got started.
See, like I wish it told me that in the trailer rather than like maybe have Morgan Freeman come over.
Or have that like really deep Optimus Prime guys being like, "Hello, Commander.
We have been hidden for years."
But yeah, and so apparently what you're going to be doing is you act as the head of the Bureau. And it's third-person shooting with some real-time strategy added in. So you're still commanding your crew of like where to go, what to do,
like Mass Effect style.
Third-person shooter. Sorry,
like Mass Effect style, like you can shout commands.
I think probably even a little more hands-on than Mass Effect. I think that there's gonna be some real quarterbacking that you're gonna have to do there.
Either way, like the namesake keeps me interested. So
for sure. And that, to be honest, that aspect of it does sound pretty cool. And doing this, undercover war against the aliens sounds cool. Hope that in execution, it's as good as it sounds.
I've also, we actually got Gregg, one of my buddies, the guy Mike that we keep talking about. He's a big League of Legends guy. He's really good at League of Legends, and we always rip on him for it. But we got Gregg to play. I've played quite a bit in the past. I never really got good because I never committed to it. But Gregg actually gave League of Legends a shot. And Gregg, what did you think of League of Legends?
Look, it's not a bad game. I just
Listen, anybody
A
who's
ringing endorsement.
I just didn't have much fun playing it because I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience for it because I like to explore and shit. I like to like walk around, and I don't like doing like it's very it feels systematic to me. The game it's like okay, everyone does this round. You kill these guys, you level up. The next part of the game, you gotta once you get to this level, kill this guy. Once you kill these guys, move in on this and do this, and you do this every time. And it's look, I only played 2 rounds, so I didn't have that much fun because the guys I was playing with were kicking my ass.
Mm.
But
there's a very, very steep learning curve in MOBAs. Like, same thing for Dota, same thing for League of Legends. Any of those, you really need to like. There's so many variables and so many things you need to learn about the game. And it was kind of trial by fire with Gregg. So
at this point, like my interest in League of Legends or Dota or what have you is far more in the sense that I enjoy kind of watching people. I enjoy watching other people play it more than I have any interest in wanting to play it myself.
Right, like the championships were like I forgot which ones, but during this past week they had a couple of the playoff matches or whatever streaming on Twitch, and they're really fun to watch. The guys that shoutcast that stuff do a really good job. And they keep it interesting, and it's fun but these kids are all, 15, 17, 18 years old. They got nothing else to do but to constantly...
Yeah.
I mean, the people who have, like, the top streamers on Twitch or whatever they use, the ad revenue that they make is, like, $80,000 a year just to play, just people watching the kids making a salary off of playing this game. It's insane.
A really good salary.
Yeah, like a really good, like a higher end salary. But
when I was at PAX East, they had one of those tournaments going, and they actually Twitch TV had their booth right next to Riot's booth, and so they were streaming what the kids were doing over on the side. And like me, having absolutely no fucking concept of this game, was kind of sitting there wide eyed, and something would happen, and I'd hear like hundreds of people cheer to my left, and I go, "Oh, I guess that's good." Like, but it is like it's incredibly interesting to watch people who can grasp that so quickly. I mean, it's kind of like watching online StarCraft people. Like, I have no interest in being that good at any of those games. I don't have the time or the will to do that. But hats off to them.
Yeah, I like League of Legends. It's fun, competitive. It brings me back to my like Counter-Strike days when I used to play CS with every night with my friends, and we used to all get on and have a really good time and have some laughs and be competitive. It's the supplement for like playing sports your whole life and then being part of like a little team, to be competitive together. It's fun. Mm-hmm. But so shout out to my League of Legends friends. Hi guys, how you doing? I also played recently Singularity. Have any of you guys ever played Singularity?
I have not. I have not played it.
No. I got a recommendation for it, and it was only like $10 at GameStop, but it's really quite fun. The story's really good. What it is, it takes place in you're in this place in Russia. Man, I forget all the names though. I don't know. Gregg, make up a name. Chachibol. So you go there, and you're like this, I guess, recon type dude, and you go here, and then you find out that there's all these time-space continuum manipulation rifts going on, and it's a standard first-person shooter, but it has this mechanic where you get this device where you can turn things from old to new or new to old, so you can time, like either age them or regress them. So you can do that to dudes, like you can age guys until they die, or you can, if there's a switch that's broken, you can revert it to its original form, and there's all kinds of cool little puzzles you can do with that. I don't know. It's a fun game. I just figured that's what I'm also playing that. Cool weapons. Game feels good. Good, decent story so far, I guess, for a throwaway type game, but I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, that was my little thing. So what else, guys? Nothing. Did we
picking
talk?
up Soul Sacrifice this weekend or this week?
Tell us about Soul Sacrifice. Also, that game Fuse is coming out this Tuesday, I believe.
No. Isn't that May? I'm almost positive that's May.
Really? I thought it was.
I think it got pushed.
Oh, well, if it got pushed, it got pushed. But what do you Soul Sacrifice? Tell us about it.
Soul Sacrifice is it's Inafune. I would say Inafune's first name, but I would butcher it, so I'm not going to.
I'm sure you
but
would.
He's the guy who created Mega Man. And so Sony brought him over to basically kind of do a Monster Hunter clone. Not clone. That's a terrible way of saying it. Well, in the spirit of Monster Hunter version for the Vita. And so it's kind of it's very much dungeon crawling, set in medieval world, going through killing beasts, and to be honest, that's about as much as I know about it. And I'm pretty excited. And it's rare that I go into something like on this type of media blackout, but I've really kept it that way, mostly because I'm so excited to have something to play on my Vita.
Yeah, right. I didn't finish Guacamelee yet. I'm pretty close though. I beat the Jaguar guy recently.
Oh yeah, how those boss fights are so fucking epic at the end.
They're so fun. You're right. It reminds me of like the Mega Man days, like running around trying to dodge attacks, and like they close you in that one little area. Guacamelee.
Well, and to be honest, you get like those last 3 boss fights, you just basically write off 5 times dying, just so that like I'm gonna die 5 times just trying to figure out what this guy is attacking me with.
I didn't realize until close to the end that like combos are everything, man. You really gotta in the beginning I'm like, okay, you could just kind of button mash and get by, but if you start actually learning the combos, you're golden. Like just if you
that's why that game is so good, is because most games are like that, where they're like, you can either learn the combos or just button mash, but they teach you the game as you're going along. Like, the game gets really, really hard, but they're gonna very, very go out of their way to teach you how to beat it. That's what's great.
Fuse is May 28th.
Oh, man. It's a long time. We have a little lull here in games, don't we?
Blood Dragon?
Blood Dragon on the 30th, right?
It's 30th or the 1st, one or the other.
So there's that. But it's good, though, because I think everybody right now has a backlog of games that they'd probably like to go through. I have a stack right now that I need to... Really, but you know what I did, man? I went and I bought Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii.
April 30th, Blood Dragon.
Thank you. I bought Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii because I know I've never played Super Mario Galaxy. No gasp? Everyone, we're okay?
I'm all right. Yeah, unless you own... Well, I guess you own a Wii and you never bought it. What was the deal with that?
Well, I didn't own a Wii when it came out. I have a Wii U now.
Okay, so, now it feels...
So I got it, but I put it in. I was like, I just want to play it just so I have it in my catalog of information.
Yeah.
I go in to play it, and it's like, yep, you need a nunchuck. You need the other piece for the Wiimote. So I didn't get to play that, but
now you have this ostensibly worthless game until you get the nunchuck.
It's already on its way from Amazon. It's pretty cheap.
That's good.
So this week, probably next week, I'll talk about Super Mario Galaxy a little bit.
So you can't use the Wii controller.
No, you have to have the nunchuck controller for it. Damn stupid peripheral shit, money making assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little lull. I mean, the next big release, I think, after Soul Sacrifice and Blood Dragon come out this week, and then I think Metro Last Light is going to be the next.
Right, Last Light. Totally, I'm excited for that. I loved Metro 2033.
Yeah, I'm going to use these the 2 weeks in between here to make sure I go back and play it again.
Yeah, it's great. It's a pretty tough game too. And what I like about it is it's pretty bleak. That game. Something at that time it was a little weird to have that kind of style. I guess I don't know, but I just loved how bleak and dreary the game was.
It's a blend. It's kind of a blend between Fallout and just kind of a more stereotypical first-person shooter.
Right. I mean, there's a part where you're in the first area and you're in the metro, like the little city area. There is so much detail in that game. I can't believe it. Like, you can knock on doors and people are like, they're busy or whatever. Like they just lines of dialogue that you can easily miss, but it's there if you want it.
Yeah. And that's why I'm excited to get back in and just kind of rediscover that. It's been far too long since I played that game.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's coming out soon. I forgot all about that. Also, I think I might pick up Monaco this week.
Yeah, we should definitely. Actually, what you should do, is it going to be out on Xbox this week, or are you doing it on Steam?
I don't know. I'm debating because I didn't want to wait, but I know the Xbox and PS3 versions got pushed back. I don't know the date.
Either way, apparently it's really fun to co-op that game. So you and me should do some co-op.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever played a video game together.
No, and this is the perfect reason to do it.
Yeah, and it's we could do 4 players too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something we should do. It looks really interesting, but we'll have more on that next week after we play.
Holla.
Yep. So we talked enough about Microsoft, I guess. I'm sure we could speculate until the cows come home, but who gives a shit, really? until we see what we got to see on the 21st. Also, Valve said that they're not going to have a presence at E3 this year.
Oh, and 2K. 2K said they're not going to be there either.
What is this? Is this like a Spartacus thing? Like everyone's standing up and walking out? What
it's just fuck this shit. We're done here.
We're out of here.
I do think that part of it comes down to that fact where like E3 used to be very, very important, but now you can get that news out so fast. Like unless you have something particularly important to announce, what the hell's the point, you know?
Right. It is about the pageantry. I mean, you can see now, like, PlayStation took it into their own hands. Whatever. Microsoft is taking it into their own hands. Nintendo's been doing Nintendo Direct. I wonder if there's some underlying meaning there. Like, maybe the organizers of E3 are shafting people with maybe money or...
Well, and I think another part of it is that E3 is press exclusive, press and... business exclusive. And I think that actually hurts E3 now more than it helps them because it becomes more of a who the fuck cares. Like the press is going to see these things one way or the other. It really doesn't matter when they see them. You know, it's very nice for us to get to watch those things via stream, but that's only so good. And the need to have those things all together at one time is starting to become less and less necessary.
Right. I completely agree with you. It makes me wonder where maybe this is like the last big one, you know, since we're doing a console thing, go out with a bang, and then who knows where the tech is going to be. Yeah.
When they bury E3, they can bury it in a question mark.
Yes, they can. And they could bury it next to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which will also be buried in a question mark.
In one of those question mark boxes.
A question mark cube, yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I think that wraps it up. We ran out of shit to talk about. So, Greg.
What?
Thanks for being here, man. Every week, it's so nice seeing your beautiful face.
Thanks for having me.
Are you all right? Are you weeping?
I'm just sad that's over already.
Oh, no.
Oh, all right. We'll do it again next week, Greg. You'll be okay.
I got some.
Are you just saying that, or are we really going to do it again next week?
We're going to do it again next week.
All right.
Yay! All right, I got Game of Thrones to watch. I got some shit I got to do, you know what I'm saying? So, Greg, thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Josh.
Peace out.
All right, everybody, thanks again for listening, and join us next week for another episode of William Shatner's TEKWAR.